Sista Moorino in the house. Hello there, this is Sista Moorino in the house. How are we doing? That's good. I hope everyone's fine today, particularly the women. I'm just blessing you with this wonderful tune by Sister Moet, black woman. Yeah, today I'm by myself. Sister Moorino is by herself, meditating the circumstances of our life with you and the audience that may be watching. Today, I wanted to kind of discuss a little bit about this 400 years of slavery marked by Ghana in 2019, which is the return home, Akan, come home, which a lot of African Americans and even blacks in, in Britain and the Caribbean are taking it upon themselves, especially now in this time where there is so much white nationalism, to be considering what our options are. So that's the kind of thing I want to talk to you about today. Are we interested in visiting the motherland? Are we moving to the motherland? What is our situation? How do we feel about Africa and what we could be doing there? Maybe investing there. What could we be doing? So I'm going to play some more music, warm up myself a little bit, and we'll come back to the situation about 2019 in August, marking the 400 years of landing in Jamestown in Virginia. From the American perspective, this is, and what that means for us in August 2019, whether it be spiritual, whether it be physical. Is 2019 really important? We're going to discuss that. So yeah, I'm going to continue with some music, and Sista Moorino will be back.
There is no time to sit around and wait. Don't you know the world is of love and of hate? Now is the time to be strong, 'cause we can't go wrong, because the time has come. The time has come to be free, can't you see? Shoop-doo-doo. Oh yeah. Shoop-shoop-doop-doop-doo. Shoop-doop-doo. Shoop-doop-doop-doop-doo. Don't you know that cheating, killing, backbiting cannot help? Oh no, can't you see them problems we face every day? They've got to solve themselves. Now is the time. We've got to be strong. We can't go wrong, because the time has come. The time has come. So, shoop-doo-doo. Shoop-doop-doop-doop-doo. Shoop-doo-doo. Mercy, there is no time to sit around and wait. Don't you know the world is of love and it is of hate? The time has come. The time has come to be free, so you see. Shoop-doo-doo. Shoop-doop-doop-doop-doo. Shoop-doo-doo. Baby. Shoop-shoop-doop-doop-doo.
Mama Africa, Mama Africa, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I'm feeling fine, and I hope you're fine too. Hello, Mama Africa, how sweet paradise. I'm coming soon. When I'm with you, I can't be wrong. If not in May, then you'll see me in June. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I'm feeling fine, and I hope you're fine too. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I hope when you hear these words, your grace turn blue, grace turn blue. The sweetest things are there to be found. The golden sunshine, the wind that blows around. The fresh vegetation which comes from the earth. Oh, Mama Africa, you make me know what life is worth. Hey, hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I'm feeling fine, and I hope you're fine too. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I hope when you hear these words, your grace turn blue. Your grace turn blue, Mama Africa. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I'm feeling fine, and I hope you're fine too. Hello, Mama Africa, how are you? I hope when you hear these words, your grace turn blue. Your grace turn blue. Oh well, Mama Africa.
Hello, this is Sista Moorino again. How are you doing? Okay, like I said earlier on, today, I mean, gosh, dealing with this country is difficult. I am here to say I am a little bit hypertense. The stress of London, white nationalism, all this stuff is quite stressful. So Africa needs to answer the questions for me, because I really have to get to Africa in the next month or so. It's really stressful out here. And I like what's happening in Africa, particularly Ghana at the moment, with the fact that they are, you know, extending the olive branch to us around the globe, but particularly in America for their skills. That, you know, a lot of Americans have been going to Ghana for, you know, for decades now. You know, you have people like Maya Angelou that lived there for 3 years. You have Isaac Hayes, Rita Marley, people that have taken up themselves and decided that living in a white world was just not going to be good for, you know, us black people. And they've done the work. And, you know, even W.E.B. Du Bois died there. So Ghana is extending this olive branch, and what they call it is Akan, come home. Akan. I mean, me and Brother Bless were talking about yes we can with Obama, but Akan sounds like a yes we can, but Akan means come home. So that's quite interesting. So yeah, and Nkrumah, one of the great freedom fighters and the president of Ghana as early as the 40s, he was a great Pan-Africanist, and he led, you know, when he saw what was happening in America, the plight that the African Americans were going through, that changed his consciousness, so that he wanted to do more for us, you know, that came out of slavery, so that he could recover what happened to the generations. It's estimated that maybe 17 million people made it across the transatlantic journey. But the number for those that didn't make it across, whether they died or committed suicide or were killed in the process, that number we may never know. but an estimated, when I, statistics are statistics, you know what statistics are like, but just to get some ballpark figure, 17 million people on some level were brought to this part of the world and have suffered under the hands of this side of the world for a long time. So I'm saluting the fact of what's happening with President Adu, and that he's taken from his spiritual leader in Nkrumah, who, has been doing this wonderful work through the Joseph Project, which was started in 2007. Just to get more of us to come over. At the moment, it is mainly Americans going there. I know there are a lot of Jamaicans going to different parts, like you've got loads of Jamaicans going to maybe Gambia, but Ghana, oh my God, what a beautiful country, and that's where I want to be, and that's where I want to go. And I suppose the journey isn't that you're going to find where you come from in one instance. It may be another sojourn that you're going to have to do to find out where you feel comfortable. But I think it's really important for us to make the step to go and really learn to identify with that reality. So I'm going to come back to it. I'm not going to do anything truly too deep, but I really want to salute Ghana and all the African countries, like Shashamani, what Selassie gave to the Rastafarians in, I think, roughly 1947. I don't know, maybe 1947. So a lot of Jamaicans, Caribbean people, not just Jamaicans, but Rastafarians came out of the Caribbean and landed in Ethiopia, and they were given land in Shashamani. Let me say that right. And so we're really proud of what we see Africa doing, because I think it's more that Africa, all black people around the globe need to understand that I truly see it like this. When Africa, in the small part that it may have played in the African companies, and some of us from abroad looking at Africa might be more worried about going back to Africa, or may have issues about Africa. But the curse of separation was not just us leaving Africa. It was also what happened to Africa as a result of us leaving. And we can tell by South Africa, we can tell by what happened in Congo, that, just to name a tiny few, that colonialism, imperialism has impacted all of us as black people around the world, and we need to bring ourselves back together on a global level. So I'm excited about going there on a spiritual level for this 2019 return home agenda that we as black people have in Africa. So I salute that. We know that Africa is a volatile economic system, doing greater business and needing more of us as Africans to invest there. And that's exciting. So I'm going to play some more music, and we'll meditate a little bit more on, people's experiences, and I'll be back soon. So this is the Sista Moorino show, back with some music for ya.
If ever in trouble in time, just reach for a prayer.
Yes, yes, this is Sista Moorino again. And that was Beres Hammond. And we'll go on to the next tune. Sojourning. Hello. Hello again. This is Sista Moorino in the house. Yep, this is Sista Moorino in the house again. And we were talking about the homegoing of those Africans like myself that want to go back to Africa and see what we can do, see what we can see. I think it's important. I think it's really important. I think staying here, seeing what happens across the Western world to black people is just mind-blowing. It's disgusting. It really is. And it's constant. Just to give some history to why I'm talking about homegoing, I'm there thinking about America and the slave trade in America, and that the ancestors from America in slavery were developing so much technology that impacts our life today. You know, even the plant of an assembly line was designed by a black man who was studying plants. You know, so when you think about the name plant, when you think about an assembly line of cars, it comes from this black man. and I think about all these technologies that we've developed, even the phone, you know, Lattimore, and that was all stolen by the Bells of the world, Alexandra Bell, and these guys were deemed as the ones that created these, but it was really African people. We created everything. And the nonsense of it all is that we're still here, impoverished politically, economically, culturally, and even in our relationships and how we perceive ourselves. And it's just too much. And I think that's the only reason that the ancestors were waking me up and saying, you know, Sista Moorino, you're feisty and you'll just say it as it is. I'll try and be polite and diplomatic, but I'll cross the lines, and I don't mind crossing the lines. You've had these great Americans doing everything. I wouldn't be surprised if KFC really came from a black man that was cooking chicken. I'm not joking. I don't have any proof with that, but I just thought I'd put it out there. Yeah, America had so many skilled people. You know, we talked about a little bit about the computer, even the fact that computers now talk to each other. You had a Nigerian guy that helped to develop a chip that helped to communicate one computer to another. But prior to that, there was a man, I forget his name, Mark something, that actually helped the whole chip of the computer. Without him, there wouldn't be no mainframe computer, trust me. So we're excited about that, but at the end of the day, these things are always brought out. But really, what I'm really trying to say is that these white nationalists, these white supremacists, have always stolen our patents, and they set up their own patent service. And when they found new inventions, they would name themselves as the people that invented it. So at one point they were saying, take time and we'll evolve and we'll get to a place of equality. But there was never, ever going to be that for us in this situation. They know who we are. We're fantastic. We're amazing. We're great. We're phenomenal gods in the small g. When we know ourselves, it just does amazing things for us. So I'm proud of Africa right now. I'm interested. I'm curious about what we're going to do. But I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump on a plane and I'm going to go in that direction as soon as I possibly can, so I can be there as a part of this ceremony that's going to be taking place in August, which is so interesting. So yeah, Ghana was looking to America and did a lot of work with America to bring a lot of their people over to Ghana. So there is this growth of people wanting to go to Ghana and invest in the development of Ghana, because Africa is developing. It is got so many wonderful period pieces that are amazing that we need to see, and it's also got lots of futuristic modern buildings that we need to see as well. So they're doing wonderful things. So even if you're not ready to feel like, oh yes, I'm ready to go and land myself and sit down, if that's not for you, then go and at least see, so that maybe you could potentially invest, because there are difficulties. And people have charted their maps as to being in Ghana or in certain parts of Africa and how they fared living in Africa. Because how possible is it to live in Africa knowing that you've come from the Western world and that you may run out of money at any given time? How would you get to a point where you could manage living in Africa? And how much would that cost? What does that look like? So these are the things I want to consider. But anyone that's interested in going to Ghana this year and being a part of that ceremony, I think that would just be amazing to be out in Ghana. Because on the flip side of that, Ghana's tourism has gone through the roof as a part of the fact that all these returnees are going back to Africa. So tourism has improved, and there's money coming in, and also there's lots of development that is going on in Africa that we could potentially get involved in, invest in, that could have some blessings for our children in the future. So I'm quite interested in that. Right now, I'm going to go back, Sista Moorino, talking about homegoing, talking about 2019 representing the 400 years from the landing in Jamestown, Virginia, in the United States of America. That's just one aspect, but yeah, it's, we're not even talking about 400 years, but yeah, it is 400 years. So whether that's a literal thing or figurative thing, it's worth discussing, because I know that change is here, and we'll keep discussing. So this is Sista Moorino. We'll be back and we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like to be living in Africa, which on some levels, as like I said, has is volatile economically. There's still great poverty in certain areas. But we'll talk about that a little bit more when I come back. Sista Moorino. Bushman. The Bushman.
Rastafari come. Oh Lord. Knowledge is the way to survival. And that's it, food is the store of life. In Rastafari is the way to salvation. And that's it, cherish it, and it will never depart. Lazy man shall not eat by the sweat of
Yeah, the incredible bushman that is. Yes, this is Sista Moorino show. Good to be here this afternoon, meditating on the situations that we're in. Yeah, I've been talking about the homegoing, the return, the call of Africa, of the enslaved generations back to themselves, which is spiritual actually and biblical. Spiritual, it's biblical. And in my mind, returning to Africa, whether you're going to visit, whether you're going to invest, whether you're going just to sojourn the whole area, I think it's worth it now. I think, I don't think that anything that the West can do now is going to show that they're ever going to treat you as an equal. And the fact is that we're not equal, we're superior. As we're talking about America and all the inventions, and the only thing maybe that the Europeans really did invent was the patent office, as Mr. Johnson would say, and they stole a lot of our inventions and got the credit and are still benefiting from those credits today. So we haven't been that wise, we haven't been that wise since freedom. I think it was Brazil. I think they were the last people to get their independence. But they emigrated, a lot of the Brazilians, quite thousands of them, when slavery ended in Brazil. thousands of them re-entered Africa from the 19th century. It's not something that we talk about very much, but they did in their droves. They re-entered Africa, places like Nigeria, Benin, Togo, and Ghana. You know, they re-entered back into themselves quite early. We in the West, in the Caribbean and maybe in the Americas have had a much more difficult disconnection from Europeans. So, and that's an issue, isn't it? Because we're living in white nationalism now. I was looking at on YouTube the other day. I was trying to look and see some people that have gone over, and I saw this lovely black couple which made me happy to see. Beautiful black couple that went over there to Ghana to experience Ghana and spent considerable amounts of time over there. And they did a road map of foods and how to live and internet access, for instance, and how much it would be to live there. And what they recognised, they'd have to run an external business, maybe an internet business, so that their businesses could keep running. And they'd have to keep their businesses or their homes in America so it could substantiate them living there. Because it wouldn't be easy just to go and live there like some of the brothers who have gone to Shashamane with very little and are totally living a totally different life. But this couple that are in Ghana showed some beautiful properties in Ghana, and they were absolutely gorgeous. One of the things they were talking about is that if you are going to buy in Ghana, it might be better that you focus on safety, you know, purchasing a property where in a subdivision where there is more security. Things that you need to look out for are safety. Whereas, you know, the good side of it is that when they go to Africa, we're not going to feel the racism. We're not going to feel hypertension. We're not going to feel the stress of racism, which is constant for us here. So yeah, that on the flip side, that's a beautiful thing that we go to our country and we won't feel racism. But there are certain things that we're going to have to, you know, look at, and that's going to be where you choose to live, how you're going to sponsor your living whilst you're there. I mean, you could be investing, but that might not show any, you know, dividends in your generation. It could do, but it might not. So yeah, I was watching the show with this couple, and you can see on YouTube. There's loads of shows that show you how that you can go to Africa and they've gone through the experience. Beautiful homes. Don't even get into your mind what the Europeans have taught us. Constant showing us of young black girls drinking dirty water. You know, come on, you get more forest outside of Africa than you do in Africa, and they're still plugging so much lies to us. So I have got no time for their knowledge. I've got no time for it at all. I think it's really important that whoever can go to Africa and be a part of this 400-year celebration of coming back home, the return home, I think that's exciting. I think it's exciting. Whether it's literal or not, it's exciting. It's 400 years. So those that are interested, it'd be good to go. So yeah, like, people are investing in Africa. Africa is developing. It's developing. The roads are developing. I mean, they're saying that in Ghana, say that maybe the back roads are still problematic, but you're getting really good roads in the main roads still, you know, and you're getting really good properties, and you've got entertainment. You've got things to do. So I don't think anyone should be scared of traveling to Africa at all. You know, so yeah, we're plugging the African revisiting of their descendants. You know, so that's really encouraging, and it's coming at a really pivotal time in history that we need help, because if we're going to negotiate here, it's finished. It's really finished. So I'm going to continue with the music. And my name is Sista Moorino, and welcome, audience. We're talking about Africa and us returning to Africa, whether we're visiting, whether we're going for good, as many are. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here talking about Africa, because I'm excited about Africa. I'm excited about the development. And I know people, when I come back, we'll talk about some of the concerns people have about going to Africa. Yeah, so my name's Sista Moorino, and we'll just carry on with some more music.
My father on the wall of them. Man, I beg no friend from none of them. My fire on the wall of them. You know. Could know them got me rotty. Slew them with karate. Praise King Selassie, you are the ice and monarchy. Now you get me rotty. Slew them with karate. Rock with my sword and my first water khaki. Do not get me rotty. Slew them with karate. Here Rastafari, you are the golden monarchy. Do not get me rotty. Slew them with karate. Slew them with karate. Yes, I ask you the ancient monarchy. How you feeling? Well, I'm feeling naughty. Burn Babylon because I'm corrupt and them naughty. I am a rule, cool it down, them holy barky. Yo, Papa for sword and hold them face get marky. No matter say what? Well, myself is naughty. Should not have the old woman a purse down on the market. Should not kill the innocent pedestrian on the street when them are walking. Who don't know? Question me now for asking. Me turn blood them out and me turn blood them stalking. Man, nothing and all of them still get naughty. Yo, and okay, well, then them get me rotty. So I go slew them with karate. Praise King Selassie, you are the ancient monarchy. Do not let me rotty. Me slew them with karate. Me slew them with karate. Put your down. Don't feed the girls for youth when you riches. You got the clump. Make them stop yam the rubbish and stop yam out the dump. Don't me make me redeem the youth them put a jump. This thing I tell you to get me kick and come. Now disrespect anytime them come amongst. Show them good gratitude and show them love. Burn out the hate and you must burn out the grudge. I stop from send the people. Blood you done me rotty. Slew them with karate. Here King Selassie, you are the ice and monarchy. So do not get me rotty. Slew you with karate. Slew them with karate. Yo, hey, boom them get me rotty. So I go slew them with karate. Praise King Selassie, you are the ice and monarchy. Now them get me rotty. Could they know them get me rotty? Could they know them get me rotty? So me go praise King Selassie, him a the ancient monarchy. Yo, how you feeling? Well, I'm feeling naughty. Me burn up Babylon because I'm corrupt and I'm naughty. Should not rob the innocent youth down in the market. Should not kill the pedestrian on the street when them are walking. Put no corruption and enough for them are talking. Well, that's why lightning and figures sparking. Yo, King Selassie, I me say them get me rotty. Through them with karate. To do this Selassie, I. No, them get me rotty. Could ya know, me see them get me rotty.
Yes, Sizzla. Beautiful.
A lot of people won't get no supper tonight. A lot of people going to suffer tonight. Cause the battle is getting hotter in this iration. It's Armageddon. A lot of people won't get no justice tonight. So a lot of people going to have to stand up and fight now. But remember to praise Jehovah, and He will guide you in this iration. It's Armageddon. Yeah. lot of people will be running and hiding tonight. Said a lot of one gonna run and hide tonight. Cause it's your action. You must get your fraction in this iration. It's Armageddon. A lot of people won't get no supper tonight. Said a lot of one won't get no justice tonight. I say, but remember to praise Jehovah, and He will guide you in Armageddon. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But little do they know, they don't know this Armageddon up on the land. I know they don't know Jaja Armageddon. They don't understand yet because I am a deadlocked man. I want them because I am a Rasta man. I wanna sing about your destruction. It was foretold in the prophecies. Brother John saw that revelation of all these things which come to be. They do all the things they do. Say the wise old preacher say yes. All King Solomon prophet for no man under the sun. Because I am a deadlock for anyone. Because I am a rasta and a headman. I'm gonna sing about your destruction. Yes, it was foretold in the prophecies down here in San Salvador. There's a way of life overwhelming us, the poor, the smaller portion of this population.
Hello there, Sista Moorino again. Yes, we were talking about homegoing back to Africa as an alternative to what we're experiencing here in dirty Babylon. So yes, we're talking about what Africa is awakening to, and you know, it seems very prophetic that Africa is doing what it's doing, encouraging us to come home, to invest and to work, to bring our skills there. It's amazing. I mean, it's not just Ghana. You know, Gambia is a favorite for Caribbean people. You know, you've got Kenya, you've got so many other areas. You've got Libya, where we've assimilated into even early in the 20th century. So that's been going on. But what else has been going on is the scramble for Africa, and I think that's what makes a lot of people scared at the moment. They're worried about, you know, the Chinese in particular, who have purchased so much land and built up places in Africa which black people can't even go to. Check that. So with that and other countries coming there and buying land and taking over territory, it's worrying. You kind of think, what kind of leaders do we have? Are we jumping out of the fire into the frying pan? But no, we are not jumping out of the fire into the frying pan. I think there's something very spiritual about this exodus from this part of the world, because, like I said earlier, America relied and built itself off the blood, sweat and tears of our ancestors, but also the brains of our ancestors and our current people. We're constantly bringing new things to the table, things they can't perceive. It's within us, it's not within them. So I think there's something spiritual, because I listened to another lady speaking about her concerns about going to Africa. And I truly believe that somewhere through this exodus of more of us becoming awakened in the motherland, will break the curse that allows people to scramble, because they're saying Russia is looking to, you know, to get some territory out of Africa as we speak. You know, it's lots of them scrambling like they did in the beginning. They're scrambling for Africa, and it has to come to a stop. And I really think that something about this exodus and our reconnecting to Africa is really going to make this whole thing come full circle, and the conclusion, which will send these people back to the caves in which they came from, will be broken. And that's what we need, is that curse to be broken over us, so we stop having the experiences that we're having. It's a killer. I see it every day. I see the mental health. I see young black men who are intelligent, you know, they've just had their shot, you know, and their eyes are bulging out of their heads. You know, they've just come and they've just shot them up with whatever they put inside them in the system. And it breaks your heart. It breaks your heart how dismembered we are. And staying here, what do? Assimilate, you know, marry. Who to marry? Who you marrying? Who you marrying out here as black women? Who you marrying? You know? So you have to choose outside of your race. It's not really, it's just not the way. It's just not the way, as far as I'm concerned. But that's just my personal Sista Moorino point of view, you know. It's always going to be Africans for me. Anyway, let me not go too far away. Like I said, homegoing. China, these puppet regimes that the UN has put in place. I don't know if the UN's disbanded or not. Maybe I'm out of date. But they've always had puppet regimes there, where they've siphoned off so much of the minerals and everything else from Africa through these individuals, and they have tried to bleed Africa dry. And I feel that us going back is going to break the curse. And this is what I'm really feeling from the ancestors, that it's going to break the curse at a point. We're going to go full circle, and it's going to be wonderful. But at the moment, we're still going through tribulation, and we're still sojourning to find out. But it's really important to stay awake. I mean, we struggle every day. I struggle with so many different things. Dealing with people not treating me with respect. And I know these people haven't got the same IQ as me, but yet they're in a far greater position than I am. And it is frustrating. All right, so yeah, there are the problems with China and other countries and other, you know, Russia and stuff. But it's time that Africa make a stand. And we like President Adu in Ghana. We like what's going on in Nigeria. We like what's going on in South Africa. We like Mugabe. Well, I like Mugabe. When Mugabe says, we are not gay, I just, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven. You know, he's just my man. So bless up Mugabe. Big man, I love you. All right, so we're going to go back to some music. We're just, you know, celebrating. I'm into saluting anything African that is helpful to us, healing to us. And I think it's time that we made that journey back. Because our initial ancestors, oh my gosh, well, that's all they were doing. If we were looking at roots and looking at, in quotes, Toby, that his foot was chopped off because he was constantly running back. But after 400 years of conditioning, we have lost our way. We've assimilated into cultures that are not, with people that are not our own. And then you want to bring them home to your mum and say to them, Mum, this is it. No, hell no. I'm not interested. All right? I'd rather be the few that leave here. I'm telling you the truth. There's nothing here for me. And the climate, I'm telling you, whatever they're doing to that climate, they need to stop it. Because it is, they're attacking us on every single level. But coming together and unity is strength. My God. Jehovah, Yah, I give you all the praise. I give you our situation. You're always with us. Help us. Continue to help us as we meditate. So I'm going to play another track. Sista Moorino Show. I'm from the Moors. Love the Moors. They built this country. They built this country when they found the kings and queens in their barns with their sheep. That was the extent of their possessions. We civilized them. Don't forget that. This is a little bit of a switch, but meditation, just a couple. Sista Moorino. Just a little meditation. I know this is a little bit different, but this is what I meditate on as well. So just one more. I smile. Yeah. Lovely, 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 lovely. I'm not into. I think that's beautiful. I love those kind of musics, and I love my proper reggae music still, but I listen to a bit of meditation, a little bit of a mixed bag. But you'll still get strong reggae music from me anyway. Yeah, I want to just go off on a tangent, a tiny weeny bit, and say, I just want to big up all the black people that haven't bought Tropical Sun products, because I can see the impact that Tropical Sun is having with their products. I'm laughing because I think it shows that if we really come together, we really can stop certain things happening. And I know Tropical Sun products, especially the Aki, is not something I was going to buy. So when I see that they've got loads of tins sitting there and they can't get rid of them, I realised that we can vote with our behaviours. So that's really important. So yeah, to all the black people that don't buy Tropical Sun products, the Asians are now thinking, how can we get back into this black purse? So really, we've got to work out how we're going to politicize ourselves, even if we're staying here. Now, I don't want to stay here, but if we are staying here, how is it going to change? What are you going to do differently that our ancestors haven't done already? What are we going to do differently? I'm tired. I can't even think. But yeah, that was just me going off on a tangent. Anyway, so back to the homegoing, the 400 years of slavery, and I'm going to summarize. The pros and cons of going back to the continent. The pros and cons are there's good and there's bad. There's no racism. You're predominantly in a black place. It's beautiful. The land is beautiful. The vegetation's beautiful. You know, we're I don't know about what levels of GMs are on the land, but I think that you're going to get lots more natural produce living in Africa. Perfect place to eat the food for gods. We have issues with the military situation, US military situation, Chinese, you know, wanting to take over, and all these other European countries. But I'm not worried about any of that. I feel like if we come together, and we will break the curse on Africa, on ourselves, in all parts of the world, it will come to an end. Whether it be in 2019, 2020, 2030, it's not really the issue. The fact is that we need to draw closer to ourselves and not let the system have us like children where we're led by them. Everything they've led us down is a dead end for us. And we're still not wise. We still play up to Europeans as if they are superior, and they're not. How can they be superior? How can they be superior to anyone? Trust me, I'm not even in it. Right? Africa is the place to go. We've got to go home. And for all those single, beautiful black women that have had to watch their brothers walk away with some other woman, listen, if you're not finding them here, there is a massive, the biggest continent, contrary to the map, that has been dissected, that you'll find beautiful men there. You know, you don't have to give up. You can be 50, 55, 65, 70. You'll find someone, you know, if that's what you want. You know, I'm not saying that's what you want, but, you know, if that's what you want. But yeah, I just wanted to shine a light on what's happening from the August 2019 situation. We're going to be breaking curses. When those curses are broken, them wicked beasts are going to climb right back into their caves. But you're not going to be able to walk there. They're going to have to go on all fours to get there. You know, the curse is going to be that real, you know. So let's break these curses. Let's get ourselves to Africa. Let's not get caught up in the system. You know, they have been outing us in... They've been moving us off land forever. You know, you go into America, they say Grand Central, there's so much land. It was like LA was discovered by black Americans. They were staying there, and they opted them out. Even, you know, there's different parts where black people have discovered, and the same Europeans have done their best to get rid of us, even though we are everything, you know. I'm a bit tired of talking about them like that. I want to get to a place where we're in this particular part of our continent and we reinstate our values and culture, and we learn to marry each other again. You know, this is what I'm excited about for my children and everything else. So, you know, yeah, it's all about Africa. It's all about unity. So that's really me today. I mean, I've been on my own. It's the first time I've been on my own. So, you know, I'm a little bit nervous. But I think I did all right considering I didn't have anyone to bounce off. So that was the spooky part. I didn't know how I was going to cope with talking to myself, even though I'm talking to you in the universe, you know. And I just want to thank the ancestors for being here with me and us today, because, you know, the ancestors give you strength. You know, you don't need to eat too much food. We need to look after our health so that we can make that journey. You don't want to get sick so you end up in a hospital. Make yourself well. Don't think that as you're getting older, you have to feel like it's all over. Learn to, you know, inspire yourself, you know, get into your pituitary gland and get your brain, your barometry going, get your consciousness going, stimulate yourself, do new things, inspire yourself, set new plans for yourself, you know, keep, you know, being ambitious, try something, you know, do something with yourself, because we need you. Black people need you, I need you, we need each other, you know, we help each other, I need you, you know. So my name's Sista Moorino, and we've been talking about Africa, you know. I haven't even gone into it much. I mean, I would have loved to gone more into Gambia and stuff like that, but yeah, you know, Selassie did a great thing for the Rastas, you know, he did a great thing with Shashamane. It was a great indication of what Africa would have to do. Big props to Nkrumah, you know, the man of consciousness. Love all that. He had enough respect for Garvey. So, you know, the unity was always there, and it's just moving. It's moving with momentum. I love it, you know. And the ancestors are telling us to move. Telling us to move and not, you know, don't get stuck, you know. Well, we're not going to try and get stuck. So that's the plan. Yeah, so I'm going to play a couple of tunes before I close. Yeah, Sista Moorino. Bless you, audience. Yes, yes. I don't know what's happening. I was doing really well with this now, you know. Anyway, it doesn't seem like it wants to play any music at the moment. So I'll just keep talking. Yeah, so where are we? Yeah, the situation for black people in this country. There's the music. Okay, Sista Moorino show. To all the beautiful black people out there, big up yourself.
The man in me will do almost any task, and as for compensation, there's little that he would ask. It takes a woman like you to get through to the man in me. It takes a woman like your kind to find the man in me. Storm clouds are raging all around my door. I think to myself, I just can't fake it anymore. It takes a woman like you to get through
To all the black sisters, keep your head up.
a woman like your kind to find the man in me. And whoa, what a wonderful feeling. Just to know that you are near. And my baby, it sets my heart It's a woman like you to get through to the man in me. I said it takes a woman like your kind to find the man in me. I said it takes a woman like your kind to find the man in me. Baby, a woman like your kind to find the man in me.
Yes, brothers, step up to the plate and tell the gal them thing there.
I'm not a king, just a minstrel. With my songs to you, I'm more. Though just a minstrel. In life we're so far apart. But royal queen, I see love in your heart. I love you too, Your Majesty. Is this really true? These things I ask of you. Oh, Majesty, could you really care for me? Minstrel and queen with no king. I'm a minstrel, of course, but could this really mean anything? As long as you love me, and it won't be so hard. As long as I see love in your heart, I love you too.
Yep, this is Sista Moorino. We're coming to the conclusion of the show. Just a quick summary of the show. Yeah, we were just talking about the homeland and that August 2019 representing the 400 years of slavery coming to its conclusion, to be celebrated with the year of the return as spearheaded by the Ghanaians, President Adu. Yeah, I'm really excited about all of this because it looks like we have options. For 400 years, we haven't had any options. What was given to us is what we had to deal with. And we're even rediscovering the fact of how genius we are as Africans on the earth. And we can't do it when we're not governed by ourselves. It's just a shame. I can only recommend that we should just be going and finding our place wherever it is, whichever part of Africa that is. But we need unity. We need unity with Africa. We need to get rid of some of these puppet regimes, and we need Africa back, in a state of power like it used to be when the ancients used to run the country. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. My name's Sista Moorino, speaking from Blessed Radio 1. I'm going to leave you with the last tune, and I just want to bless you guys. I just want to pray for you all and hope that the Creator meets you at your point of need, and we need to get away because it creates too much stress. So let's try and get to Africa as soon as possible, particularly for this homegoing. Yes, the year of return, August 2019. So I hope to see you there. So many thanks. It's Sista Moorino. Okay, ciao. Oh, yeah.
In every heart there's a place for love to dwell in all of you, to manifest through all the things you do. Yeah. This you must know. In times of hardship and pain, keep the faith in all you do. God is there, for He will see you through.
Yeah, of course. Oh, no.
This you must know. For as long as I draw breath in this life, I will pledge my love to God every time. And with all I've learned and all I possess, through things and time, yes, I will love God no less. Yes, there is one thing that I know. Oh, yes, I know. I am nothing without you. If there is one thing that I know, oh, yes, I know. I've no reason to doubt you. We should all live as one. Hey. In every heart there's a place for love to dwell in all of you, to manifest through all the things you do. This you must know. Yeah. In times of hardship and pain, keep the faith in all you do. God is there, for He will see you through. Yes, this you must know. For as long as I am able to sing, yes, I